The 32nd board is up.
Heat 2 of round 2 of the Australian Touring Car Championship for 1981. The V8 Thunder starting to build up. We're anticipating a great battle between Peter Brock and Dick Johnson. Brock in car 05, red and white Holden Commodore. Johnson, blue Falcon car number 17. Equal fastest with time of 46.1 seconds between them, and away they go. And it was Dick Johnson who grabs the lead in the big booming Falcon. Comes across in front of Peter Brock, and Johnson has around about 2 to 3 lengths over Brock as they go through Repco corner for the first time. Murray Carter quickly up in 3rd place. Alan Brown in 4th. And Wilmington and Morris having a good old wrestle around Repco at the start of their first lap. Dick Johnson, car number 17. Peter Brock, car 05. Privateer, Murray Carter. Putting a really good showing so far in the series. Through that treacherous section below where all the oil and water is. Brock tucked in very nicely behind Dick Johnson as they start their run around the main straight for the first time, and they really start to get them mobile out of 3rd gear into top gear around about halfway down. And you can see the long legs of the Falcon just opening up a little bit of a gap over Peter Brock, and then quickly Brock reels it back in as they go under brakes around Repco. Good battle there between Steve Harrington and Peter Jansen, captain himself.
Bob Morris we just see coming into the pits. Bob Morris there using a long distance engine rather than a sprint unit, and obviously in trouble already and virtually out of this last heat of today's round.
Standing lap time of 51.49 seconds. First of the under 3 leading cars is Bob Muir, gets very sideways with one of the Masterton Ford Ferraris giving him a real nudge. That was in fact Steve Masterton.
Brock is trying to hold on very close to the back of Dick Johnson now, rather than letting him open up a 2-second lead or so as he did in the first heat, because he saw then how difficult it was once they began to lap the back markers to get back at the Queenslander. Carter again in 3rd place, as he was in the first race. Gary Wilmington in 5th, Steve Harrington 6th, Peter Jansen 7th, Colin Bond 8th, Steve Masterton 9th, and Bob Muir 10th place, car 24 for the Army Reserve.
On their second lap they recorded a 46.37, which is 2/10 slower than their qualifying time. 46.1. Johnson and Brock, and this is going to be on for young and old right throughout the year. This was the way it happened at Simmons Plains. Round 1 in Tasmania. Johnson in the lead with around about 6 and 7 seconds in hand. Can Brock whittle away this gap?
One even wonders whether this sort of performance by the Falcon could encourage Moffat to go back to the Falcon rather than go for the Mazda.
Well, we still got it.
That's right.
It's for sale for $40,000 if anybody wants a very quick XD Falcon. Colin Bond in the Capri, followed by Steve Masterton. And the captain himself in car number 9. He's getting stuck into Steve Harrington in the car that Charlie O'Brien drove last year, number 10. And Wilmington with his offside rear tyre smoking that time. Looked like the guard was rubbing on it.
Particularly fine performance there by Alan Brown in 4th place, and Alan in only his 3rd season of racing made a very tentative start with a Tirana, and then has been regularly competing in these touring car championships.
Gives him a chance to get some valuable points in the series.
There's a little bit of a tussle there. It's Gary Wilmington sort of trying to cover each way for Jansen and for Harrington trying to get by him. And that's a close one. In fact, there's a touch there as Harrington goes off, and a nudge from Jansen. Now we watch for the wink. He's parked on the inside there, stuck, can't get out. Now he does it. Spins around, a little bit angry perhaps. A little bit of Tasmanian ire coming to the fore. John ahead of him now to chase that group and get back on terms with them. So it's Murray Carter now with pressure from Alan Brown, the Recar Commodore. And it's still Dick Johnson leading, with Peter Brock well within touch.
Ford 1st and 3rd, and General Motors products 2nd and 4th.
It's a forward again in fifth with Gary Wilmington of Sydney, followed by Peter Jansen,
who usually ends up having excellent battles with Murray Carter. But on this occasion, Murray seems to have really stoked up the Falcon, and of course he's got a legion of fans around the country as being one of the most loved privateers in the country. Everybody is really happy to see Murray right up there. 50 years of age, he's really got it together. Let's have a look at this lead now. Johnson and Brock still hard at it. And I think that in this, the second heat, Brock is not going to let Johnson get away this time, Paul.
No, I think he's making it a lot more difficult on this occasion than in the first race, where Johnson was able to take the race. And in fact, he's well under pressure from Brock.
He's stuck right in behind him now. They're about to come up and lap Ken Hastings in car 57, the Lancer. This is the section where the big Falcon really shows its long legs. Right here is where Brock catches up once again. Under brakes into Repco corner. And Johnson's gone. Sideways.
Yeah, I thought that was going to happen because Johnson was being pressed too hard, having to watch his mirrors and everything else, and just that one lapse of concentration. So Johnson drops way back down to third place.
Murray Carter up into second place, and Johnson now has Alan Brown to worry about in the Recar Commodore.
Looking at the way Brock was driving, it seems unlikely that Johnson will be able to get back that sort of distance. Just have a quick look at that again as Johnson comes into Repco corner. A little bit too much lock power, and round he goes. And a very, very angry, frustrated driver that will be. He got back on very quickly, but not quickly enough to take over second place. Although that could be rectified very shortly. There's Brock, the new leader, taking Jim Fanico into Repco corner. And he's 8 seconds, in fact, split